So what would you say to a woman?
Honestly, it depends. Again, it's a situation based. What if they have a valid reason? They could.
Well, he couldn't communicate it. He couldn't
No, but honestly, he could have a valid reason why maybe he had an accident.
If a man is interested and committed, he's going to take the action.
So imagine that you have a strong bodyguard. You know that this bodyguard is going to protect you wherever, whenever, whatever happens to you. How would you show up?
Does that mean that he's not serious, or does that what does that actually mean?
I don't think a woman would need to do that. Honestly, he needs to take the move.
Yeah.
He needs to tell her, hey, let's take this to the next level. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ammar.
And my name is Hannah.
And we are the Love Coaches.
We're on a mission to help as many single Muslims find their potential spouse. Come and listen to our incredible journey of how we met each other.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you really love our content.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to another podcast episode. And in this one, we're going to be interviewing Ammar with the top questions that women want to know about men. So it's going to be very juicy, inshallah. Before we get started, let's start with the dua, inshallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this with all the single friends that you know that could benefit from this, inshallah. So let's get started, Ammar. So tell us, when you were on the app and you were getting to know different people and you were talking to them, what were some of the major turnoffs that you would come across that would make you feel like, oh, I don't even want to engage with this person?
So honestly, the first thing that I was looking for is religious. I wanted a religious woman. If I found out that throughout the conversation that the person is not really, they're Muslim, but they're not really practicing, I wouldn't be drawn into continuing the conversation, and I would slow the conversation to
a stop.
To a stop, yeah.
So was that the only sort of thing where like when you were talking to someone, if they just didn't have, what you were looking for, then you'd slow down the conversation? Was there anything in terms of behavior or mannerisms? Because I remember you saying, I'll just prompt you, I remember you saying, like, when people just send you a list of questions in one go, and how that makes you feel. So tell us more about the mannerisms and the behavior of women that you've spoken to on the app that was like, oh, that doesn't feel nice.
Yeah, it happened to me once where this girl, just without any previous note, sent me like a ton of questions and expected me like to pass the test in order for us to continue the conversation.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like, why are you putting me to the test?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't feel like this is something that I would do. And I apparently did not answer any questions. And I just, I think, I don't know what you call it. Unmatched.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Like, I don't think that went through very well with me.
So tell us more about what was that like to be on the receiving end? Because I understand the logic behind women doing that, because I've made that mistake like on, I think, the first day of the app, where I came across really intense and I just wanted to like just test the guy from the get-go, to even like, because I didn't want to let my guard down. So I understand where that woman is coming from, because she's just so like guarded and doesn't want to let her guard down and is scared to get hurt by a guy. So she's like, I just need to ask him all these questions first. So what was it like to be on the receiving end? What were you feeling when you saw those questions?
All right, I'm gonna make it easy for you and for everybody who's watching us. Imagine that this is happening and I come at you with 20 questions. Like, how old are you? How many times do you pray a day? Do you pray or not? I'm not waiting for an answer. I'm just asking you all these questions
in one go.
In one go, right?
Yeah.
How would that make you feel?
I'd feel so overwhelmed. I'd be like, ugh, this is so like,
Like, who does this, right? You'd feel like this is strange. And no, but like, it doesn't mean if it's an app on online thing, that means that you can do things that you don't do in real life.
Yeah, because you're right. If you were to come over my house for the first time with parents there, would I ask you 20 questions? Salaam alaikum. Do you pray? How many times? You wouldn't do that, right? Because it's abnormal conversation. It doesn't flow. So I love that example. So what advice would you give to women who are stuck in that very masculine, defensive mode? That doesn't want to let their guard down, that approaches relationships or approaches getting to know people in that manner? What would you tell her?
All right. So for this instance, I believe like she needs to put herself in the receiving and the other person shoe, right? And she needs to assess it. Am I doing something that is, first of all, halal or haram? That's our criterion. And then, if it's halal, does it look good? Does it feel good? So, all right, is it halal? Yeah. Does it feel good? Not at all. Nobody's gonna want to interact with that person who asks like a million questions and be like, give me all the answers right now. We need to first filter you throughout these
it's like very robotic
questions.
almost.
Yeah.
It's like a very robotic approach. So
first of all, yeah, you need to first filter out if I'm doing something halal or haram. Then, does it feel good?
yeah.
Is this the right thing to do or not? So my advice is like, you can actually do it. Like, imagine yourself sitting at your home, and this person is coming to ask for you, like first see you and meet you. How would that conversation be like? That's the easiest way.
I love that.
So some people like, all right, if it was the first time, right? It's the first guy who comes to your home.
Yeah.
You might feel nervous, and that's okay. It could feel nervous, and the whole conversation would feel like awkward, and that's okay. That's us human beings. We learn by going through things. Like, it's gonna be the first time it's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be the second time it's gonna be less awkward. The third time, fourth time it'll be like it's natural.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
So being okay that it's awkward, like I think I love that, because sometimes when we're getting to know someone, we expect it to be so easy from the get-go and the conversation is flowing, and it doesn't always have to be like that. It's just like
You need to remember the first time you are doing a new thing to you.
Yeah.
Remember, you're never gonna get it right.
yeah, of course.
You're always gonna suck.
Yeah,
You're always gonna fail.
Yeah.
You're gonna fail until you're gonna make it right.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea.
I love that.
You're never gonna make it right from the first time.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like, don't expect it to be perfect from the first time. You're gonna suck at it. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna feel like crap. But that's okay. That's part of learning. It's the learning curve. It's gonna suck, and then it's going to be great.
Yeah. And just being okay with it doesn't need to be like sparks flying, conversation flowing from the first conversation, whether that's the online space or even if it's in person. It's okay if it's awkward at first. It doesn't mean that the relationship it can't take off. It's just that there's nerves involved, and that's completely fine. So going on to my next question then, how do you know a woman is serious? Because some women, like the women that approach it with the 15 questions in one go, think that that's how they deliver the message to the guy. Hey, I'm serious. Don't mess around with me. I'm not here to waste my time. She's trying to deliver that message, right? So how would you know a woman is serious in another way that's a very high value woman way?
So serious could mean a lot of things.
Like, for example, how did you know I was serious and not one of those women that just like want to just go on the apps for the sake of it and just want to talk to men? How did you know that about me?
First of all, this feeling, the feeling of the, let's say we did not match.
Yeah.
From the whole profile, the way
Yeah.
of you showing up on the application, even if it's real life.
Yeah.
I could go and see a girl that doesn't want to get married.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You could know from the feeling that, hey, she's not showing up. Right.
Yeah.
She could be sitting in a weird way.
Yeah.
Not even answering questions in a nice way, right? So it all comes to how the way that you're showing up.
Yeah.
If it's on the app or if it's in real life.
Yeah.
So let's talk in real life first. Like if I'm coming to visit a family and I want to see the daughter, the way she's showing up,
Yeah.
I can know a lot from the way she's showing up.
If she's serious or not.
If she's serious or not. If she's, it's not that hard. You get that, you get those small mini things that we do. It's like meeting a new person for the first time. So what are the things really that I was looking up? Because I remember doing a course, and the sheikh was basically giving us like 10 pointers on what you need to look for in a woman, right? The religion, the education, the manners, the cleanness of the house. You look at all these pointers, and you actually give her a grade. If she passes, like I remember it was 70%, then it's a good girl and you move on.
Yeah.
If she,
And it makes sense. Like, for example, the point of cleanliness of the house means that how is the family showing up? Like, are they taking this seriously? Because people that, you know, when you have an important guest coming over, you're going to make sure
that your house,
the environment smells good and the environment looks good. So it's all about the showing up aspect. So I love how that's a sub point that I think people just don't even see, because it does. It reflects your environment, reflects who you are and how serious you are in that. So
definitely.
Yeah.
And imagine if they didn't put an effort, that means it shows
that they're not interested or they're not really serious. I love that. And it's also, I think, just to add on to it, it's also the confidence of how she carries out the conversation. Like, I'm just going to speak for myself. When I was speaking to people on the apps, I was very confident in moving the conversation along and asking the questions like, do you sense that as a man when a woman is confident in herself and speaking in a very eloquent way? Definitely.
You can tell the person if they're being awkward, shy. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
The same feeling that you're gonna have when you're talking to a guy.
Yeah.
Is he being confident? Is he being shy? Is he being? You can tell a lot from that interaction.
100%.
And I believe in the app, it's gonna be the same way. You're gonna tell from the way they're showing up on the app. Like, how do they constructed their profile? What pictures did they put? How did they describe themselves? What are they interested in?
Yeah.
It's all going to show a lot about this person.
Yeah, 100%. I love that, because it's like when you look at somebody's profile, you can automatically gauge the level of seriousness, because you can see that they put in effort. So if their bio is all about jokes and stuff.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, as you said, you saw a lot of people who have pickup lines on their profile.
I'm going to vomit. Give me somewhere to vomit.
So these people, you can tell that these people did not put an effort. Yeah. Does that mean that they're not serious? I'm not going to say that. Maybe they're using the best tools that they have at this moment.
Yeah.
But it shows you that this is a person that is not fully committed to getting married, right?
Yeah.
It shows that, hey, this person is not fully committed. And how does it feel to start up a conversation with someone that is not available?
It just feels awkward. It feels slow. It feels like
you're
wasting my time. Like, you're not even replying to me.
You're not even in real life. You're not gonna want to start up a conversation with someone who's not really there. Yeah. They're not available.
Yeah.
So it's the same way, and I believe, like, on the app, you can tell a lot by that.
Yeah.
If you really focus on that, you can tell, hey, this person is showing up, they're being confident, they want to have this conversation, they're asking questions,
they're curious,
they're being interactive.
Yeah.
They're not like they answer you once and then they disappear, and they're
consistent.
They're consistent. They're showing up.
I love that, where it's like there's telltale signs that are really obvious of, is the person consistent with their communication? Are they, how are they showing up in their profile? All of that will tell you more about the person. And I love that. You can gain a lot of information just by how they're showing up, subhanAllah, which is really beautiful. So the next question that I have for you is, what do women do? What should women do if men just ghost them? Because I get this question a lot from women, single Muslim women. Like they're talking to a guy, everything is going good, he's curious, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden he just disappears. And then he comes back with the excuse 5 days later, I've just been busy. So what would you say to a woman?
Honestly, it depends. Again, it's a situation based. What if they have a valid reason? They could.
Well, he couldn't communicate it. He couldn't
No, but honestly, he could have a valid reason why maybe he had an accident. How would you? So if they come up with a valid reason, then it's welcomed, right? You cannot judge people by like, no, this is not. No, it could be a valid reason. Let's say this person is just ghosting them. It's a two-way thing because you have allowed this person, like you've made a story in your mind that, hey, this person, I really like this person, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to give him the excuses that maybe he's this, maybe he's that, maybe he's that. It all depends on you, Kaman.
Yes.
Like you need to know, is this something that I really want to invest my time in? If the answer is yes, then you can give them the benefit of doubt and see what their excuses are coming up with. If you think that, hey, this person does not get that my time invested in them, so no, that's it. You ended up there.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's also, just to add on to that, I love your point there. It's also about communicating what you want to see in the other person. So say, for example, I don't know, they're talking and then he doesn't message for 5 days and he ghosts and he said, oh, sorry, I've been busy at work. As a woman, you can actually communicate your expectations, be like, you can actually say that outright. My expectations for when we are talking is that you'd communicate with me. Even during busy times, you'd give me a heads up. This is what I would like moving forward. I think there's nothing wrong with communicating that and saying, moving forward, I completely understand that sometimes we're busy. Just give me a heads up.
Honestly, I will tell you my experience as a guy. Like if someone is saying something like this,
Yeah.
You don't even... Because there is no commitment.
Yeah.
You're still getting to know someone. Yeah. So again, if we put it in real life, just put it in real life, as if you're in real life, not in an app, and you're speaking to someone and they tell you, hey, I'm sorry, they disappear for 5 days and come back and they say, I'm sorry, I was busy in work. You wouldn't accept it.
No, you wouldn't.
Even if a new person, if a friend,
you'd be upset at them.
You wouldn't accept it. Yeah. So don't accept it in the app. Yeah. I feel like we disassociate ourselves when we are online. If you are just living life as if it's real life, it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
So if it's something that you wouldn't accept in real life, don't accept it online.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
it.
Just have standards for yourself, and if there's something that you wouldn't accept as a standard, like in the everyday world, why would you accept it on the online world? And I love what you actually mentioned a really awesome point previously. It's like you've made up a story in your head about them. We're like, oh, they are the one. Oh my God, we have such a good connection, right? And I think this is the pitfall that a lot of women fall into. They prioritize the connection over the commitment levels. The whole like, oh, but we speak for hours, but if there's no commitment, what's the point? The connection actually really doesn't have substance to it, right?
Yes, and I want to point out things because honestly, the man could be charming, could have a great charisma, and they know how to talk. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything if they don't show signs of commitment, real commitment, that they're ready to take steps. First of all, in conversating with you, being curious and asking questions about you, then the whole thing does not add up.
Yeah, 100%. And these are not good, these are not the qualities for a husband. Like he's charming, he's charismatic, is awesome. But does that make him a good husband? I think that's the filter that we need as women going into conversations. We don't want to just say, oh, we have an amazing connection, we talk for hours. We're looking for qualities that make him a committed husband.
But it makes sense. Again, women are emotional beings.
Feels good.
It feels good. So we cannot also it needs to feel good.
It needs to feel good. You need to feel like you have chemistry with the person, the conversation. You enjoy talking to them. 100%. I'm not saying that that's not important. I'm saying that's just level 2. Like you need to move. If it's just the connection without the commitment, it's never going to move forward. Which then leads me to my next question. And this is a fear that I hear a lot of single women say to me is, well, what if he doesn't turn out to be the person that that he actually says he is? Like, what if we're getting to know and it's going so well and then later on he reveals his true colors? That's a fear that a lot of women have.
I love that question. It's really nice. And the way it's constructed, it's a fear-based question.
Yeah.
Everything we do in life could be like, imagine that you say to me, what if I go on the bicycle and I fall down? What if I go and drive a car and I have an accident? What if?
Yeah.
In everything we do in life, if we let our mind start from a fear-based situation, I don't think we can move in life. We're going to be fearful. Like, what if this happened? What if that happened? Honestly, what I believe in, and that's the most beautiful thing, Islam and Allah has guided us. If you're going to do anything in life, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to yastakhir in na'leh. He would make istikhara when he buys his shoes. And it shows you that we barely do that. We barely do
We
that.
pray istikhara only for like marriage, right? Or like big things in our life.
Yeah.
Do we pray istikhara for the little things also in our life? Yeah.
So it shows you how Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was dependent on God.
Yeah.
We are nothing without Allah. So that's the whole idea that, we have all these fees for a reason. Allah wants us to lean on Him. So how do you lean on Allah? Tell Him, Ya Allah, I'm having this person. I don't know anything. He looks nice. He looks religious. There is interest. Ya Allah, I'm afraid, but I'm going to lean on you. So
Guide me.
guide me through this. And imagine that you're leaning on God.
Oof. You're leading.
He's going to put, like, imagine that you're being in a bubble and Allah, like anything comes to you, Allah will make it go away. That's how beautiful it is. When you lean on Allah, Allah will protect you from anything, from any harm. So my answer to that would be, lean on Allah. It is going to be, there will be fears.
There's so many fears though. Like that's just one of the fears. You could have a million fears in getting to know someone. What if? So I love that you're saying that. That's a very much fear-based.
Honestly, again, it's the same idea.
Yeah.
If in real life that could happen,
Yeah.
the person can show up and he can see you and he could be all making a show,
Yeah,
right?
could be making a show, yeah.
And you can find out later on that he's not a genuine person. So it's the same thing, I swear. Online, finding your husband online is not so different from real life.
Yeah.
It's just we like say that this is new to us. It's a new thing. So this is new to us. It's different than real life, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love what you're saying there. It's like people think that online is such a different space, but actually it's a really much just a reflection of what goes on in real life. And I love the importance of you saying of coming back and leaning upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because somebody could be putting on a show for you. And so it's very important that you have the tools and you're leaning upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that you can navigate this situation in a very confident way and you can be open rather than coming into the whole space already so scared. Because that question to me implies that the person's already so closed off, already so scared, and needs to work on those fears that are holding her back. Which then leads me into the next question is, and I know this is a big one for women, especially single Muslim women. What if he has a past? What if he has done something that is not Islamic, that he's not proud of? What should happen in those instances for the girl and for the guy? Or if she even has a past, like for both of them, what should happen in that scenario?
Honestly, what I believe in, because for both of them, like you don't need to reveal anything about your past unless it's gonna be interconnected with the person that you're meeting.
So there's actually something that it's gonna come into the future that's gonna affect the current relationship.
Otherwise, like, because Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, like, this is one of the major sins is to talk about something that you've sinned before.
So then how do you know if he's actually moved on? Like I think at the end of the day, that question comes from, well, how do you know he's not going to do it again? And that he's actually, he's actually made the steps to...
You can actually tell from the person's showing up. Are they showing up in a again, we're like, it depends on the personality, how they're showing up in the relationship.
And I think it's also, just to add on that, it's evidence of their behavior. Like, how do they live their lives? Like, say, for example, they've committed something in the past, they've done something in the past that hasn't been Islamic, right, with another relationship or whatever. Well, then you can see, obviously, in their day-to-day actions, what are they doing? Who are they hanging out with? What are they doing in their free time? All of that. Their friends will tell you a lot about where they are currently and whether or not they can fall into that or not. So I think it's the evidence of their actions. So at the end of the day, it is about, you need to make a judgment based on the person that's in front of you right now with the evidence of what you can see, because you can't put on a show because again, I can just anticipate the next question that a woman might have in her brain as she's listening to this. But what if he's putting a show that he's moved on, but he hasn't actually moved on? Well, that's the beauty of when you're getting to know someone for a specific time period, is you get to see the whole person. You get to see them, and this is why it's really important to see them in situations with their family, with their friends.
Like, honestly, for how long are they gonna be able to put a show on?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like, if a person spends a lot of time, free time, with friends, you don't know where they are, they're not working. You can tell all this about a person. If they're committed, what are they doing in their life? Are they praying? Are they not? Are they going to a masjid? Do they have? Are they part of a halaqah? Do they learn?
Yeah,
You can tell a lot about a person, and
of course, and their mindset.
The mindset. What are they in? Because honestly, what you focus on is what you get. Like, if you are focusing on serious stuff, focusing on work, because mainly the man that you're gonna get to know is, honestly, he's gonna be investing almost his
Most
time.
of the time he's working, right?
He's
Most of the
working
guy that comes to
and
knock-
family.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he's not, you're gonna know that there is an issue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Of course.
So life is all about work, family, fitness. Maybe he goes to a gym. Otherwise, if there's anything else, there's going to be a problem, and you're going to know that.
Yeah, 100%. So it's very important that you just look at his life. And I love that, that thing that you just said there, like, how long can someone put on a show for? Let's be real. And especially if you're seeing them in their different contexts, like you're seeing them with their family, you're seeing them with their friends, you're seeing them with your family, you're seeing them and you're experiencing them even in pressure situations, in times where it's really hard or in times where it's really tough, you'll see a lot of the person.
Honestly, what I also want to say here, they can put a show as long as you can give them excuses. So if you're not coming with the eye that, if you're not coming with an eye that, hey, I'm testing this person, I want to know who this person really is, you're going to see things clearly, rather than coming with, this is the man of my dreams, I love this person. If you're coming with that eye, they're gonna slip, and you're gonna make an excuse for them. They're not gonna show up, and then you're gonna give them an excuse. They're gonna do something bad, and you're gonna give them an excuse, and it's gonna go on and on and on and on. If you're coming with the eye, again, not to the other extreme, which is like,
that's what I was just thinking.
They did this, that means that they're this. They did this, that
So
means
how do you balance that with not going to the whole
there
extreme?
must be you must have a balance. Honestly, it's a feeling that you have. You need to come with the idea that, hey, we're in the phase of getting to know each other. So you're coming with again, if you have a friend, if you're gonna start a new friendship, how are you gonna handle that? How are you gonna handle that? If you're gonna be to the extreme that, he said that word, I'm never gonna forgive them for it. He did that. He did not show up. He was late 30 minutes. He was late 1 hour. I'm never gonna forgive them. It's the same thing. You're making a new connection with another with a human being. So you need to be balanced. You need to be in the middle. You cannot go to the two extremes.
100%. And I think to add to that, it's so important to help you not to go into the extremes. There's two ingredients is having the tools to navigate the situation. If you have the tools, then you'll be able to confidently navigate the situation and know what questions to ask and know what to reflect upon yourself, and also having a wonderful support system. I know that what helped me not go to either extreme was connecting with my coach Amira. Like anytime I felt like I was going to either extreme, I could have a session with her and I could speak so openly and honestly with her, and she was a professional and that wasn't judgmental, and I could speak honestly about where I was, and that would help realign me. So I think it's so important that you have a support system around you while you're getting to know someone, because sometimes it is easy to go to both, either one extreme, and then that way you close yourself off from really finding the potential.
Definitely.
one. Yeah.
And that's where the as you said, support system, it could be someone older, maybe a parent. If your relationship with your parents is really good, you can definitely include your parents in this. You can tell them, hey, and they can guide you. Like, it's something, sometimes we need an outsider eye to look at the situation and assess it. Because if you're in the situation, you could miss out on things. But if it's someone else looking at your situation, they can pick up things that you did not.
100%.
So definitely including someone as a support system is definitely needed in this phase.
Totally. Because like, just to reflect on my journey, there was a point where I was overlooking for red flags. Like, I thought everything was a red flag, and my coach Amira would tell me, "Really, is that a red flag, or is that just blah?" Like, it was just so helpful to be able to have that honest conversation with her, where it's like, actually, I am going to the other extreme where I'm just overlooking for red flags and I'm scanning for everything because I just want to protect myself. That it came back from this, I just need to protect myself. And so just being able to speak honestly with someone that I trust about what's coming up for me.
And this is exactly what we said. You're coming based on fear.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
dealing,
operating from a fear base. Yeah.
And that's dangerous. It's not going to lead you anywhere and going to keep you closed.
Yeah, you're not open already. Like, you need to come into this whole marriage space feeling open, feeling confident that you've got yourself and that you've got Allah with you.
Exactly. So imagine that you have a strong bodyguard. You know that this bodyguard is going to protect you wherever, whenever, whatever happens to you. How would you show up?
You'd show up fearless. Like,
Fearless.
I've got my bodyguard. Like, nothing can touch me.
It's beautiful. You're gonna show up fearless, but with standards. You have you know your standards, and you're sure about them. You're fearless, and you're coming with comfort. You're not afraid. You're not looking for mistakes. You're not looking for red flags. You're showing as yourself. And it's beautiful.
So beautiful. I love that. The whole concept of the bodyguard, and to Allah is the highest example. Just that concept of, you've got the best bodyguard ever to be there and on your side, and then showing up with standards. I love that. The importance of having standards of what you will accept for yourself and what's right for you, and then how that's going to allow you to show up so differently in the conversation and with the person that you're getting to know. Which then leads me to my next question. How does a woman end a conversation with a man? So for example, she's getting to know him. She feels like this is not a match. What's the most high value way that a woman can end a conversation with a man that would just, because I hear this from women as well, like, I'm scared to hurt him, so I'd rather just talk to him than hurt his feelings. And then they drag on the conversation for months on end, but they know they're not in it.
Actually, you'd hurt someone's feeling if you drag on to the conversation, because honestly, what you're doing is wasting your time and his time.
Yeah.
If from the minute that you feel like, hey, this is not going to go anywhere, you've been honest to the person and be like, in the most honest and beautiful manner. Like, it does not need to be harsh or ugly. Like, I don't like you, get out of my face, or just unmatch or whatever. No, you can do it in a very beautiful way.
Like, give us an example of a way that you've done it or the way that you've seen it.
Thank you for matching with me. It was a beautiful, conversation that we had. I don't believe that we're gonna be a great match in the future. Thank you for putting the time. I wish you all the best. May Allah be with you. Salam alaikum.
Yeah.
That's it.
So beautiful. Yeah.
That's not haram. It's not a harsh way. Bilaks, it's on the contrary. It's very beautiful.
It's elegant.
It's elegant. It shows that you have respect for yourself and the person in front of you. It's very beautiful. And And the person who will not accept this, aslan, you want to move away.
Yeah, you don't want to
If
marry
someone-
them. They're not marriage material.
Yes. If this person does not accept this, there's a problem with this person already.
Yeah.
You're doing it in a most beautiful way, and this person does not accept it. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's just the elegance, and that could also be applied in
Both ways.
both ways, not just the online, just also through a friend. So, say for example, you're getting to know someone, you can pass on a message exactly like that to that person, where you do it in such an elegant way, like just. It wasn't
Thank
a
you
match.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
It was a beautiful
And you
time.
make dua for them, which
Make
is really
dua for them.
nice. Yeah.
It was a beautiful time. Thank you for putting the effort and because they invested time in this. So thank you. Thank them for what they did. Thank you for the time that has been invested. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the beautiful time. May Allah be with you. And that's it. Salam alaikum. You go in different ways.
What would you say to a woman who, I don't know, say for example, how does she know a man is actually committed to her and actually like is serious, like not serious. Now it's the question about how does she know he's actually truly committed to her?
So are we talking in the phase of them getting to know each other?
Yeah. So say, for example, they're getting to know each other and he says things like, oh, my job, I need a couple of months. My job is blah, blah, or my parents don't agree or something like that. How does she know that he's actually committed to her and that he's serious about her? Like, how does she know that? Yeah, how does she know that? Because a lot of women get stuck in they're talking to him for months on end, nothing's happened, and she thinks that he's still committed to her when in fact,
Honestly, it's both ways.
yeah.
First of all, let's ask the girl, are you committed and willing to get married as soon as possible? Is this something that you want and you're able to? Because as we know that
Or move the relationship forward, like take it to the next stage.
definitely,
Yeah.
because the woman needs to be ready. She's ready, mentally ready, physically ready, and she wants to move things forward, and she needs the acceptance of her family and father or wali. So that's the first part. The second part, so if you're already wanting to move things forward and you see the person are coming up with excuses, whether it's work, whether it's time, whether
Family.
the universe is not equipped
The
with
stars are not aligned.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's an excuse, and you're accepting it.
So again, come back to your standards of what you'll accept for yourself.
So if he's ready to take a move, he will come and he tell you. It's so blunt and easy. He likes your values and how you're showing up. The first thing that he would want and he would be eager to is he would tell you, please give me your father's number. He wants to. He would want to show you that I'm ready and I want to take the next step. That's it. There is no other way. There's no other way.
I remember you once said something so profound and stuck in my mind. Like it's like an Ammar quote that's going to be etched in my brain forever. If a guy is really committed about you, you wouldn't even need to ask this question, Aslan, because
Definitely.
if a man is interested and committed, he's going to take the action. Yeah.
In your example, I saw the qualities that I want in a woman. Like, imagine seeing a Ken's. Honestly, imagine seeing
Cans
a
means treasure, yeah.
Imagine seeing a beautiful jewelry. Yeah. It's hidden in the sand, and you're the first person you're finding it. What would you do?
Dig it up and take it.
Exactly.
You wouldn't just leave it there and be like, I'll think about it.
I have work. I'll come 5 days. You'd come up, you'd clean it, you'll put it on pocket.
Fuck, it's mine.
It's mine. I'm never going to show it to anybody.
It's my treasure. It's mine alone. I love that. So, I love that. It's like men, if they're serious and they're committed, you wouldn't even need to ask that question because automatically they would want to take action if they really want to proceed. And if you find that there's excuses and all of these reasons, then he's not really serious about you. And
again, it's a situation based, but this is the general rule.
Yeah.
He could have, like, what if he had an accident? What if someone in his family
of course.
had a medical issue? Again, but this is the general rule. If a man is serious, he's gonna at least he's gonna talk to your father. That's the least thing he could do if no matter if he likes you and he wants to ask for you, he needs to take that step. He needs to tell you that I want to talk to the man of the house. I want to make sure that
I want to make my
they're
intentions
included.
clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the least thing. That's no matter what he's going through, he needs to do that.
Yeah. And if he doesn't want to talk to the dad, or
That means
he's not serious, he's not committed, and then that's not worth your standard or your time. Okay. Which then moves on to the next question. How long will it take for a man to express his intention that he wants to get to know, like he wants to move the relationship forward? Like, is there a time frame? Like before he asks you about your dad's number or whatever?
So honestly, you want to take the relationship to the next level as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because you want to avoid being in a
Haram
shady place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he's a man that fears Allah,
Yeah.
he would want to take things, like he wants to move things
Quickly.
The first touch points, both the man and the woman, they're gonna each ask each other like general questions.
Yeah.
It's gonna be general. Like, you're not gonna talk about deep stuff. You're not gonna show and reveal things deeply about your life, right?
Yeah, because it's a new relationship.
It's
You're
a
still
new
getting to
relationship,
know each
and
other.
you're not allowed to do that yet. So you need to talk about stuff that are basically values for you and standards for you. You want to see that these standards and these values are a match in the other person. Is that person committed to Islam? Is he committed to family?
Yeah.
Is he committed to family? That's a major thing.
Yeah.
Does he how's his relationship with his family, his parents, his siblings, his, I don't know, extended family? So that shows you a lot. And religion, is he religious? Is he praying? Is he reading Quran? Is he memorizing Quran?
Yeah.
What's his plans for the future? How's his work? Is he stable? Blah blah blah. All these are the general
Questions that happen.
You need to see that there is a base. Yeah. Once there is a base, and for that, the man would look into a woman. Is she the criteria? What did she study? What is she doing in her life right now? Is she working?
What are her values? What's really important to her? What is she focusing on?
Different men would want different
things based on values. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them, they want a woman that does not work. She's not thinking about a career. She just wants to have a family and take care of the children. And so, yeah, they will see those general stuff. Yeah. If there is a base and they think that, hey, this base is valid enough to move to the next phase, then both would want to take it to the next step. And the man will take the action that, hey, give me, they will be clear. I want to take this to the next step. Please give me your father's number, or let's set this up.
Yeah. So what if a girl was to initiate that? So say, for example, she is talking to a guy. It is, she sees that there is a values play match and the vision match, etc. And what if the woman was to initiate that? I'm like, of course, Islamically, there's actually nothing wrong with that. Khadija radiallahu anha initiated the first move for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I just want to ask, from a man's perspective, does that mean that he's not serious, or does that what does that actually mean if she's the one that initiates it first and he hasn't officially done that yet?
I don't think a woman would need to do that. Okay. Honestly, like, if he's a man, is he committed, and
he's talking to her.
Yeah. He needs to take the move.
Yeah.
He needs to tell her, hey, let's take this to the next level, and let's include our families in it.
Okay. So say, for example,
I don't feel like he could be hesitant about a couple of things that he still needs to make sure that they are there. But at the same time, if a woman does that, I don't see that as a wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
If she's being honest and transparent, she could say that to the man and see what comes up to him.
The actual response. It's a gauge for her as well, to see if he's actually committed in moving forward.
Like, for instance, if she does that and he's like, but I don't expect that.
Okay.
What is he doing? He's shooting her in the leg. and making sure that he will make it feel like she's doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it.
the end of it.
And then that's it. You'll know that that's the relationship that you don't want to move forward.
Imagine if that happens to you and you don't like it, you'll be like, I'm actually inquiring about a couple of things. Once that clears up, I'll be happy to. That's the way to respond to it. That's a normal person to talk
And that's
to.
a beautiful way to respond to it. If he is still gauging on a few things that he needs to clarify, and it's also him also, like, instead of him shutting her down, he's expressing in a very nice way that I just need to ask you a few questions about XYZ, then I would love to proceed. Like, and then it shows that he's also committed because he wants to take the relationship, because he's actually now expressing his intention. I love that. I love that. So there's nothing wrong with a woman initiating that conversation. Generally, men would do that if they feel like the conversation is flowing. And at the same time, if she does initiate that conversation, she'll get a really great feedback about whether or not she actually wants to proceed with this guy based on his response. Whether he shoots her in the foot, makes her feel so bad about it, she wouldn't want to proceed. And at the same time, if he's actually just not ready and he needs to clarify in other things, then it will show. Yeah, beautiful. So how does a man know that he's ready to move forward with a woman? Like, is it just a feeling for men, or is it like just the criteria needs to be ticked off?
Honestly, at this stage, yes, it's a criteria.
It's a criteria.
Again, the feelings are going to come up with the criteria that you have in mind.
Yeah.
You would think everything is logical, but this is how we work. We have, like, in the subconscious, we have all these criteria that we're gauging the woman on.
Yeah.
And once we have like a strong feeling, like once we have all these ticked off, the feeling will come up and tell you, hey, this is a great potential. Let's move forward.
So it's the
but
criteria
it's all
with the
mixed
feeling.
up. It's not gonna, you're not gonna be like,
step one, step two. Yeah,
it's not. It's all mixed up.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get a feeling that, hey, I feel like this is a great. And subhanAllah, like, this is how Allah created us. He created us human beings with feelings. So we need to depend on that. We need to always really touch back with ourselves and see.
Yeah, with that intuition.
Yeah, what do we feel? Is this a right decision?
Yeah.
Is this something that, and then depend on Allah. Once we have that feeling, then depend on Allah. Ya Allah, I'm doing this for the sake of you. Please help me and direct me toward the right thing.
So beautiful. And I love that you just mentioned, like, you come back to your ultimate intention. What's your intention for getting married? And I think, like, I have this discussion with a lot of my clients. Like, that's one of the first questions that I love to ask them is, what's your actual intention for getting married? And most of the time, people don't know what their intention, the intention is because I don't want to be lonely, because I'm getting old, blah, 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 blah. And then we don't actually come back to the real intention, which is it's for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Most people don't actually know what that even means. Anyway, I mentioned that in my course and we talk all about it. On a side note, what would you say, as we're coming up and wrapping up this episode to a close, what's the pointers and advice you would give to a woman who wants to operate in a very high value woman way, wants to remain open? What would you give her as advice when she's navigating potentials, whether that's on the app or real life? What are some of the key pointers you would love to tell her? So if you could talk to all the single Muslim women right now that are struggling to get married and on the apps or getting to know guys offline, what would be the biggest pieces of advice would you give them?
Imagine that you need to, it's your first time and you need to drive a car. What would you do? You need to learn. You have to learn. We assume that these things happen
organically, naturally. We'll just figure it out.
No, we need to learn. And how we could learn, honestly, the resources are out there. Whether it's an Islamic organization, whether it's a coach, whether it's a course, honestly, the resources are out there. And you need to learn. Once you equip yourself with the tools that are needed to get on this stage of life, you'll feel confident. And once you feel confident, you'll feel comfortable in this whole stage of your life.
Yeah, you just know how to navigate yourself and be able to trust yourself in your decisions about how to move forward. I love that.
Because imagine if you are, honestly, if you're going into a destination, you're going by the sea.
Yeah.
And you just go into a boat and be like,
You've never driven a boat before. You don't know.
I'm going to Argentina. How on earth are you gonna reach there?
Yeah.
It's gonna be impossible. It's so hard. It's gonna be so
You
hard.
don't even know how to read a map or like navigate, use a compass, turn on the boat.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's a 1 in a million chance that it can happen. So you need to learn. You need to equip yourself with the tools, and then once you show up, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna have so much fun in the process.
It'd be such a beautiful journey for yourself, and that was my experience, right? I had a huge sense of dread, and it's not until I had equipped myself with the tools that it actually became exciting, because I'm like, oh, my dream ride and all of that, and the man in the grey jumper, I'm just gonna find him, right? I just need to find him, because like now I knew how to go to Argentina. If we're using that same metaphor, I knew how to drive the boat. I knew what to do if there was a storm, that I need to do this and I need to do that. I was ready. I was equipped for all situations. I had the tools. I knew how to navigate myself, and it just gave me confidence. Like I can navigate any sea that comes my way. Like, and I've got the support. It's not like I'm alone on the boat. I've got a whole support system on the boat with me that can help guide me. So I love that.
And you have the main,
and which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is really beautiful. Thank you so much, Ammar, for this wonderful episode. I really love the gems that you've given us today, and I think every single Muslim woman that's also listened to this can gain so much value. So ladies, if you are listening to this video and you feel like there are some more questions that you have for Ammar that you'd love answered, put them in the comments or send us a private message if it's a private message, and we would love to support you in answering it. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe, share, like, share it to all your friends and family, inshallah. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.